Look at this price, $59. Now look at this one, $125. If I offered you the exact same product for both prices, which one would you choose? It's an insulting question. Obviously, you take the cheaper one. Only a fool would voluntarily pay more than double for the identical item. Rational economic theory dictates that human beings always seek to maximize utility while minimizing cost. But what if I told you that some of the smartest corporations on Earth regularly offer you purchasing options that are mathematically nonsensical? Options that no rational person should ever select. Look closely at the middle option. Why would anyone pay $125 for just the print magazine when they could get the print magazine plus the digital version for the exact same price? The middle option is useless. It is objectively worse than the third option. It should not exist. Yet it does exist. And its existence isn't an error. It isn't lazy pricing by an overworked intern. That useless middle option is one of the most highly calibrated psychological weapons in modern business. It isn't there to be bought. It is there to break your brain's ability to evaluate value. And it works. Welcome back to Strategy Unlocked. Today, we are deconstructing a phenomenon that behavioral economists call the asymmetric dominance effect. In boardrooms and marketing departments, it is known simply as the Decoy Effect. This strategy is the reason you walk into a movie theater intending to buy a small soda, but walk out with a large tub that costs 3 times as much. It is the reason you buy the 256-gigabyte phone when you only need 64 gigs. It is the reason you purchase the premium software package instead of the basic one. The central mystery we are answering today is this: why clutter a pricing menu with options that are designed to fail? It seems counterintuitive. Traditional business logic says you should offer clear, desirable choices to your customers. Offering a bad deal should just anger them or drive them to a competitor. But the decoy effect proves that introducing a specifically engineered, bad option doesn't repel customers. It acts like a gravitational field. It warps their perception of the other options around it. It takes a difficult subjective decision, like how much is a digital subscription worth to me, and transforms it into an easy, objective comparison. Today, we are going to break down the neuroscience of why this works. We will look at the famous experiments that proved its power. We will dissect how tech giants and fast food empires use it against you every day. And we will uncover why your brain is biologically hardwired to fall for it almost every single time. By the end of this video, you will never look at a pricing menu the same way again. You will understand that the menu isn't a list of choices. It is a carefully constructed architecture designed to herd you into the most profitable pen. To understand the decoy, we first have to understand a fundamental flaw in human cognition. We don't know what anything is worth. Humans rarely choose things in absolute terms. We have no internal value meter that tells us how much 6 ounces of coffee or a cloud storage subscription should cost. We can only assess value through relativity. We need context. We need to compare one thing to another to figure out if it's a good deal. Let's look at a classic example used by behavioral economist Dan Ariely. Imagine you are at the cinema. You are offered 2 choices for popcorn: a small bucket for 3, and a large bucket for 7. For many consumers, this is a difficult choice. It requires a complex mental calculation. Your brain has to weigh 2 different variables simultaneously. Volume versus price. Is the large bucket more than twice as big as the small one? Do I really want that much popcorn? Is saving $4 more important than having extra? This cognitive load leads to hesitation. When faced with this specific binary choice, many people default to the cheaper option. The pain of paying 7 feels too high for an uncertain benefit. In this scenario, the theater sells a lot of small popcorns, which have lower profit margins. The theater wants you to buy the large. But they can't just force you. They have to make you want the large. They need to change the context. Enter the decoy. The theater introduces a medium popcorn. They price it at 6.5. Let's analyze this new menu through the lens of relativity. The medium popcorn is the decoy. Its job is not to be sold. Its job is to change how the small and large options look. When you compare the small 3 to the medium 6.5, the medium looks expensive. It's more than double the price. But now look at the comparison between the medium and the large. For just 50 cents more than the medium, you get the massive bucket. Suddenly, the complex mental calculation disappears. Your brain no longer has to weigh volume versus price across the whole spectrum. It sees an easy win. The large popcorn is no longer expensive. It is now a steal compared to the medium. The medium option is what economists call asymmetrically dominated. The target, the large popcorn, is better than the decoy in every way. It's bigger and only infinitesimally more expensive. But the target is not clearly better than the competitor, the small popcorn, because the small one is still much cheaper. The decoy's only purpose is to sit next to the target and make the target look magnificent by comparison. When Dan Ariely tested this scenario, the results were staggering. Without the decoy, most people bought the small. With the decoy present, the vast majority shifted to the large. The theater didn't change the product. They didn't change the price of the large bucket. They simply added a third option that made the large bucket look like the rational choice. Why does this work so reliably? It comes down to cognitive efficiency and our aversion to loss. Making decisions is metabolically expensive for the brain. It consumes energy. When faced with a hard comparison, like the small V's, large popcorn, the brain experiences cognitive strain. The decoy offers an escape route. It turns a hard choice into an easy comparison. The brain loves easy comparisons. When you see that the large is only 50 cents more than the medium, your brain identifies this as a clear bargain. Finding a bargain triggers the brain's reward centers. It feels good to beat the system or get maximum value. Conversely, buying the medium feels like a loss. You would feel foolish paying 6.5 when 7 gets you so much more. We are highly motivated to avoid feeling foolish. So we choose the large. It feels smart. It feels safe. It feels rational. The brilliance of the strategy is that the rationality is entirely manufactured. You are spending more money than you intended, and you are feeling good about it. This isn't just about popcorn. This strategy is the bedrock of modern tech pricing. Think about when a new iPhone launches. You will rarely see just 2 storage options. You almost always see 3. Let's say the base model is 128 gigabytes for $799. The top-tier model, the one Apple really wants to sell you, is 512 gigabytes for $1099. That is a 300 jump. A difficult comparison. Do you really need that much space? Is it worth 300? So they insert the decoy, a 256 gigabyte model for $999. Look at the maths. To jump from the base model to the middle model, you pay $200 extra for double the storage. But to jump from the middle model to the top model, you pay only $100 extra and you double the storage again. The middle option makes the top option look like incredible value per gigabyte. If you are already willing to spend $999, the leap to $1099 feels insignificant. It's a no-brainer. The 256 GB model exists primarily to upsell you to the 512 GB model. It happens in B2B software. It happens in gym memberships. It happens in real estate, where an agent might show you a rundown house at a high price right before showing you the house they actually want you to buy, making the second house look like a miracle. The decoy is ubiquitous because it works on almost everyone, almost all the time. We have seen the examples. We know the mechanics. But here is the deeper insight, the real aha moment about the decoy effect. We like to believe that when we look at a menu, we are seeing a list of independent options. We believe our preference for one is based on its intrinsic value to us. The decoy effect proves that this is an illusion. The core insight is this: your preference for an item can be manufactured by the presence of an irrelevant alternative. Think back to that first example from the Economist magazine. When the useless print-only option was present, the vast majority of people chose the most expensive combo package. They felt they were getting the digital version for free. But when researchers removed the useless print-only option, guess what happened? The preference flipped completely. Without the decoy to frame the value, most people chose the cheapest option, the 59 digital subscription. The removal of an option that nobody wanted anyway fundamentally altered what people were willing to pay. This tells us that value is not something inherent in a product. Value is a hallucination created by the context in which the product is presented. The architect of the pricing menu is not offering you choices. They are constructing your reality. They are controlling the frame of reference against which you measure the world. And whoever controls the frame controls the decision. Before we discuss the terrifying implications of this, if you just had an aha moment about how your own brain is being hacked, take a second to hit the like button. It helps the YouTube algorithm understand that this is valuable content. And if you want to understand the invisible forces shaping your decisions, subscribe to Strategy Unlocked. We drop new deep dives every week. So what do we do with this information? The decoy effect is brilliant because it is invisible. Even when you know it exists, it is hard to resist its pull. It bypasses your logical brain and appeals directly to your desire for cognitive ease and apparent value. The broader business principle here is choice architecture. If you are running a business, you must realize that how you present your prices is just as important as the prices themselves. If you want to sell your premium tier, you don't just need to make it good. You need to frame it against something that makes it look essential. But as consumers, the implication is a warning. We are swimming in decoys. They are in our political choices, our dating apps, and our grocery aisles. The next time you see 3 options and one seems like a no-brainer, stop. Ask yourself, is this truly a good deal? Or have I just been handed an easy comparison designed to stop me from thinking critically? If you can identify the decoy, you can break the spell of relativity. You can step outside the frame they have built for you and ask, what do I actually need? The most expensive option might still be the right choice for you. But make sure it's your choice, not the one designed for you by a clever pricing strategist. I want to know what you think. Where have you seen the most obvious, shameless example of the decoy effect in your own life? Was it at a fast food drive-thru or perhaps buying a car? Let us know in the comments below. And tell us what strategy we should unlock next. We are Insider's Knowledge, and I'll see you in the next breakdown.